Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome back to Hellish Prints 3D. Now, last time we put the printer together, now it's time to give it a test. And what I did is I did our first test print, Demo 1, which was boaty, and it didn't come out well. It was a fail. The first test print was a fail, and you can see at the top that there are quite a few different bits of filament hanging off it in various different ways, and apart from that, where it went wrong, it's actually quite good. It's not too. It's quite a good print up until the point it went wrong. But what went wrong? Well, the actual print detached from the print bed and just started following the nozzle around underneath the nozzle instead of actually just sitting still. So I looked into this and spoke to my printer friend, and apparently you can try a couple of different things to help items stick to the print bed. And one of those things is stick glue or hairspray. So I don't have hairspray, I don't use products. So I decided to steal my daughter's glue and try it on the print bed. And Demo 2 went much better. So this is again boaty. It's printed with almost the same settings. I did tweak the settings a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit about the programs I use and where I get my designs from and the process that I go through to get a print in an episode coming up soon. Because I'm still kind of finding my way through that, but I did manage to muddle my way through getting the printer to actually print. It's really easy to operate the printer. You just twist the knob, press the button, and away it goes. The thing that seems to be difficult is getting the print bed all nice and level, because I've noticed when it's extruding, if it's not level and your nozzle is not touching it in just the right way, you'll either crash into the print bed or you'll be too high above the print bed and it'll extrude and just be hanging off the nozzle and not being squished and pressed onto the bed. So after moving the printer from the floor to the shelf, I decided on doing another test. So yeah, back to the boaty though. I am very happy with it. I feel it could be slightly better. I don't know whether I need to tweak some settings. The chimney on the top is microscopically out of shape maybe. Some of the finishes on maybe the top edge isn't quite right. Again, that might be the print bed not being seated perfectly. And there's a few little bubbles on the edge of the boat. I'm not quite sure why that is yet, but I'm going to investigate it. And again, it might just be calibration, so that's not too bad. Well, after doing that second print, the Demo 2, I moved the printer up to the shelves here because this is where I think its permanent home's going to be. Now, I had to move the actual filament reel because with it being on top of the printer, it wouldn't have fit on the shelf. But I quite like it here. I've just used the same bracket that it came with to fit that you'd normally fix it on the top of the printer with, and I've just fixed it to one of the beams of the shelves. These are just some custom shelves that I built into my office. So that sits there quite nicely, and that prints there quite nicely. After some more levelling, we did quite well. But I don't think I got the levelling right the first time, because for Demo 3, I attempted to print this bracket. Now this bracket is part of a book stand, and I'm hopefully will complete the book stand later on. But I just wanted to print part of it, because after doing the boat, which is pretty much the first print that a lot of people do, it's a very standard test item. I wanted something that was going to be used, something that was going to be useful, and a book stand for cookery books in the kitchen seemed like a good idea. Now overall, this did not go well. This did not go well at all. There is a lot of bubbles and bumps along some of the flat edges on this one. There is problems with the surface. In some areas it is quite smooth and nice, and in other areas there are bumps and lots of really quite deep ridges. And there seems to be some sort of a problem with printing between the fill and the edge, because there's some gaps in that as well. And I thought it might be the actual design or the route that the nozzle was supposedly taking. But I went back to the computer and had a look, and I couldn't see any problems. So what I did is, after doing demo 3, which was another fail, I readjusted the print bed, and I adjusted it over and over and over and over again. And what I realised is, instead of getting one corner just right, because you just roll the wheels in each of the 4 corners, instead of getting one just right and then doing the next one, doing the next one, doing the next one, that doesn't work, because when you adjust the other corners, the corner that you just adjusted will change, because it's a spring-based system. Tension on one side of the bed will pull it the other way on the other side. So it's best to have all the wheels in the same position, and then move each one a little bit, until the whole bed comes right where you want it. It takes a lot longer, but I feel like you get a much more accurate level of bed. And that seemed to do the trick, because Demo 4, I reprinted the bracket. So Demo 1 and 2 was the same item, a fail and a success. And Demo 3 and 4 is the same item, a fail and a success. And this one is miles better. There are hardly any imperfections on the side. You've got the beautiful clean print lines from the layers, and the gaps between the fill and the edge are non-existent, and the actual surface, whilst not completely smooth, is a nice even pattern all the way across. And I think that is probably, I think that's probably perfect, or pretty close to perfect anyway. Now, you may have noticed I switched to black for this one. And, yeah, I wanted to try a different colour. I wanted to try swapping filaments, because something that I hadn't done was knowing how to swap. And you just have to set it on a preheat sort of cycle, so it warms the nozzle and then you can retract it. So that's not too bad. And again, it's all quite easy. The instructions are quite good on that side of things. So over the 4 demo prints that I've done, we have 2 successes. And I'm quite happy with that. I'm looking forward to actually printing some more things. I think sometime soon I'll print the other half of this so that we actually have the book stand. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set up some proper time-lapsing. So you may have noticed throughout this video I threw in a few clips of parts of this printing. And what I did for that is I set up that camera on that tripod, and that camera is actually just it's a Google Pixel 4 phone. I'm not using any sort of really specialist equipment for this. So it's a good camera, it records really well, and yeah, that's what I use, and I just set it into time-lapse mode, and it did okay. But I need a more permanent solution. I need something that is going to allow me to do the entire print in a nice time-lapse. So you've got some clips this episode of some of the printing, but next time, or the time after, very soon, we're going to look at my new setup for hopefully capturing the full printing process. So there we go, that's my story of my first 4 tests. Overall, some success, some failures, but I've learned a lot about the way it works. I've learned that, again, I'll say it again, the levelling of the bed seems to be, and the height of the bed seems to be really important. And the general operation of it is really easy, as well as uploading designs to it. So, coming up soon, we will do my first proper projects. We will talk about the way I've set up the time-lapsing, and we'll also talk about the process of actually, well, how do I get a design, where can I get a design from, how do I convert it into the thing I need to convert it to, and how do we get the printer to print it. That's going to be all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.